Hi, I just wanted to give an update on what happens to Ford Excursions, Ford F250, 350 trucks after a while with the locking system. So you might start to notice that your running board lights, your interior dome lights stay on when they shouldn't be on, and you have a door AJAR light on the dashboard appearing when the doors are actually closed. What happens is there's a sensor in the locking mechanism itself that starts to get jammed, and it's a bit of a pain to get free. I think people have said that you can free it up by spraying loads of WD-40 in there or slamming the doors, getting it sort of loosened up. I've tried all of that. I bought this Excursion 2002 from an auction. It had a rear end, had some rear end damage, and I put a new hatch on, and the hatch locks are not lining up properly. The sensors in the locks themselves are not indicating to the computer that the hatch is closed when it is. So I made the call to just get rid of this, get rid of these sensors in the equation. In each end of the hatch where the locks are, there's a sensor, and plugged into the sensor is a wire, or is sort of a cable, and it's a bit of a pain to get out actually, and it's right in the edge, and there's a wiring harness, quite a large wiring harness around the hatch, and as I said, at the ends there's these plugs that go into these sensors, and that's to indicate whether the hatch is closed or not. And what I did was I put a jumper over the sensor. You might see that little piece of wire, and I put this wire over both of these, and it told the computer that the hatch was closed. So what I decided to do, as you can see, I've cut this off. So I cut this off, and I just got the two wires that were left on the wiring harness and bound them together and put tape over the wires. And now I've kind of cut out the hatch sensors so that the computer thinks the hatch is closed all the time, which is great. The reason why this is also applicable to F250s and 350s is that I've had the same issue with the back rear door, and I'll just take you to that. What you got to do is, if you have the same problem with any of the doors, where one of the doors is indicating that it's open when it's not open, when it's fully closed, there's one of these plugs. These are exactly the same on all the doors and the hatch on an Excursion, but you don't have a hatch on an F250. So in the mechanism itself, so what you got to do is you've got to take the door panel off. How you do that is you remove there's a little sort of panel or plate where the electric window button is. You take that off, and also there's one of these reflectors on the door panel. You just prise that off. Behind the electric window button and the reflector, there's a screw. You take the screw off, then the panel comes off, and then you shift back this plastic sort of weatherproofing, I think it is, and in here where the lock is, as you can see, this is the lock, and this is where the bolt slides in, and in here you've got two cables. One is to do the actuator to lock and unlock the door, and the other one is to manage this sensor to tell the computer when the door is open and closed. And so you can pull out the sensor one to make sure that you have the sensor one unplugged and not the other one, not the one that does the lock, unlocks and unlocks the door. Is pull out the one you think's the sensor one, and then see if the lock still works. If the lock still works, then the other one plugged in is the lock one. So what I intend to do is, with the sensor one, I intend to do what I did before on the hatch. because I simulated that again. I put a piece of wire over the two connectors on the door sensor plug, and it told the dashboard the door was closed. So I'm going to chop off the plug. I'm going to bind the wires together, put tape over, done. Now this door will not tell the computer when it's open anymore, which means that door ajar light won't come on when it should not come on. Now, with that said, you will not have your dome lights come on when you open the door. When this door is opened, dome lights, running board lights, those won't come on because the computer will always think this door is shut. So bear that in mind when you do this job. But I don't care about that, just for the purpose of getting rid of that door ajar light and saving some battery life, actually. Also, if you have a car alarm that's being told incorrectly that doors are being opened, that might be causing you an issue with a car alarm. So anyway, so that's a quick quote unquote quick and dirty fix for solving the door ajar light issue. As these trucks get older, these sort of issues start to arise, and they're not worth enough, these trucks, to really put the money in or the time in my opinion, to get these things working the way they used to work. You know, I don't care about rear door dome light activation. In actual fact, I think I prefer it not to happen. So you just cut these off, these connectors at the wires, and then you join the wires together and put tape over. That will solve door ajar light, dome lights coming on when they shouldn't, and it will give you preserve some of your battery life. Thank you.